Hello everybody on the internet watching, and welcome to the last regular season game for both the San Francisco Shitbirds and the Wyoming Janitors, who are hosting this bout, and it is all on the line in this last doubleheader with how close both teams are in their division. These are must-wins for both of these teams. At stake, the Janitors, who have won the opening coin toss and have chosen to defer possession on this chilly evening in Wyoming. If the Janitors beat the Shitbirds in this bout, they become over their divisional champions and will host whoever wins the Seattle Civil War. Vigo Bungerquist on the return gets to the 30, but he's stopped just before the 30 as he trips over a Janitors defender. So Shitbirds with the first possession of the game, starting from their 29. And the Shitbirds coming hot off a victory against the Kingston Gators. They won by a singular point at a goal line 2-point conversion stand to win the game. Nathan Pope hands it off to Dingo, who gets a 4-yard run, and he's tackled down by Kevin Indy Rock. Now this is going to be really interesting to call. I have to stare at my cheat sheet here for the Gators because they have completely upended their player roster. Harold Van Panel moved from wide receiver to running back 1. Again, we'll get that. Nathan Pope in the I formation, stepping back, lots of time in the pocket, throws it deep to Andy Overnight, who's double covered. He gets it at the 10, and immediately the Shitbirds testing the Janitors deep. Bert Haybarn and Len Players can't keep up with Andy Overnight, and that's a 62-yard bomb. And just in the blink of an eye, the Shitbirds are at the 4. So Nathan Pope, the new quarterback for the Shitbirds, throwing it up there for his wide receiver, formerly the center, but he's taken over quarterback duties after Jalen Rundle Jr. has his season ended. This is like 8 people protect this pocket, and no, it's not enough. 8 people cannot protect Nathan Pope as Steve Rail jumps over a pancaked offensive lineman and gets the sack. Now, while the Janitors' defense has been utterly shifted around, as well as their offense, Michael Tyre still at left end, still one of the best defensive ends in the league, and we're seeing there why. As James Dingo is lined up. Draw play to James Dingo, and he gets it in for a touchdown on the draw. So that was the Shitbirds. They were using a 4 wide receiver set there. They spread out the defenders, tricking them into going for a pass play, and Dingo was in the backfield, and nobody was in the middle of the field to stop that running play. Great play call there by the Shitbirds, who go on the board here early in a must-win game. 9-yard touchdown run. That drive taking about a minute and 50 seconds off of the clock. And DJ Wideboy kicks it good, and the Shitbirds are up 7 here early. DJ Wideboy to kick it off to the Janitors' first possession of the game. Now that was the number one worry of the Janitors going into this game, is do they still have a good enough secondary to prevent against the deep ball? And if that opening overnight flight on the second play of the game is anything to go by, it might be a long day for that Janitors secondary. Bobby Williamson about 2 yards into his end zone, returning it upfield. He's got great blockers. He's running into Shitbirds, and he gets it past the 35 for a fantastic return. And the Janitors will have a medium-length field ahead of them after that great effort. The Janitors are doing something I don't think any other team in the league is doing. The 3 slow but huge wide receiver and Craig Quafford who can accurately throw to them. It's a quick check down pass to Milo Zapp, who turns it upfield for a 7-yard gain. Now I say big receivers, they just threw it to little Milo Zapp, the fullback, for a little Zapp attack. So immediately it's going to be 2nd and 2 for the Janitors. The Shitbirds piling up the tackle box. Harold Van Panel, the new starting running back for... It's tackled for no gain. That's Alan Peepers stopping the run cold. That's going to be a 3rd and short for the Janitors. Honestly, my player to watch on the Shitbirds defense is going to be Evan Sackland. You'll find him number 7, strong safety. He's there in the slight middle of your screen as it's Harold Van Panel for... I think that's a first down. He fought for it. No gaps opened up there. But I think forward progress is for a first down. But yeah, Evan Sackland, his work stopping this new run game for the Janitors is going to be what makes or breaks the Shitbirds. At least on defense. Counter run for Harold Van Panel. Isn't able to get many yards off that. Maybe 2, as he's tackled by Fred Scooty. Since the Shitbirds shuffled up their defense for last game, we're seeing so many of these awesome players who originally weren't really taking snaps finally see the spotlight and making huge waves. Fred Scooty was acquired earlier in the season by a trade with the Gators, and he's had a fantastic time at defensive tackle. Craig Quaffit deep in the pocket, throwing over, gets it to Zach Racer. No longer the biggest man in the backfield. He is now part of this bully receiver offense for the Janitors, and right there on a crossing route gets the first down at the Shitbirds 35. Jim Ratt, the lone back for this set. Craig Quaffit directly under center. He's stepping back to throw a little bit of pressure. Throws it once again, this time to Rory Fisher at the 25. And Craig Quaffit 3 for 3 now on passes. Again, this has been my favorite thing to watch in the TNFL all season long. It's general managers getting really creative with the players they have and making them work. Jim Ratt, play action. Craig Quaffit holds it, lofts a rainbow up, this time to Roy Fisher again at the 15. And the Janitors moving steadily downfield with these passing plays. Rory Fisher, originally a nickel back, now wide receiver number 2 on this team. Harold Van Panel, the lone back, 2 tight ends. Alan Combo, former star defensive tackle, now tight end on the move. It's a handoff, but that Alan Combo motion leaving a big old hole exploited by that looked like Wayne T-block on the blitz. And the Janitors pushed back quite a bit off of that tackle. It's third down in the red zone. What will the Janitors do? Quaffit's in the shotgun. He's beside Harold Van Panel. They're going to throw it. Throws it. Caught! That's number 13, Liam O'Fiend, the former Stouts defensive player. He's filling a role on the wide receiver core here. And he picks up a first down and keeps the red zone offense going. And Quaffit has not made an incomplete pass yet this drive. Van Panel, the lone back, once again with 2 tight ends. Van Panel off the tackle, unfortunately isn't able to get off of that's not Milo Zapp anymore. That's 81 is Freddie Funky Dope. He's unable to get off of Freddie Funky Dope's tackle or block. So that's going to be stopped for a no gain. 2nd and goal here for the Janitors. And they are really holding to this single back big formation. Van Panel still the lone back. That's Zach Racer on the move to the other side of the formation. Counter run for Van Panel. Shakes off a tackle. Gets almost in. He's at the 1. It's going to be 3rd and 1 for the Janitors as Phil Stickler takes him down. And that's going to bring us already to the end of the first quarter. What a blinding blur this has been. It was a very quick Shitbirds possession, ending with an overnight flight to about the 5. And James Dingo punching it in with a draw play. And since then, it's been all Janitors with a very, very long drive that now is about to end with this 3rd and goal. It's going to be Jim Ratt who stopped. Phil Stickler stopped the last run at the 1-yard line, and now he stops this one for an impressive goal line stand for a tackle for loss. And this Janitors crowd is booing the effort. And that sets up a chip shot field goal attempt for Joshua Hoser. Impressive work there by the new middle linebacker of the Shitbirds. Phil Stickler was originally the fullback, and he had amazing runs as fullback throughout the majority of the season. I'm thinking about that first Shitbird Stouts game where he broke through for about at least a 40-yard touchdown run. It was quite incredible, but since the roster shakeup 2 weeks ago, he's been put at middle linebacker, and I think he has thrived. That was 2 important stops there at the goal line. really showing his stuff there. Janitors kick it off back, deep kick. Vigo Bunkerquist is all the way half into his end zone. He'll kneel for the touchback, and the Shitbirds will get the ball at their 20. So you have to think, are the Janitors weak to the deep ball? Did they make too many sacrifices to try and come up with a new offensive plan? We'll see if Nathan Pope can dial in on that. Dingo, the lone back. He's going to drop back to pass. He's looking for someone open. That's thrown way over. Out of bounds. That'll be second down for the Shitbirds. So again, the season on the line for the Shitbirds for this game. Not only do they need to beat the Janitors, they need to beat them by a lot if they want a good chance of stealing that number 2 seed from either the Stoats or the Beefers. Pitch play to James Dingo. No one on the left side. He makes a man miss for a first down. Makes a... Oscar Dudeman. Strong safety coming over the last line of defense. James Dingo does a pelvic thrust trying to make a miss, but Dudeman runs into him anyways, and you get a comedy slapping sound as they both bounce off each other like a Warner Brothers cartoon. That was amazing. 1st and 10 for the Shitbirds as they made it to their 32-yard line. Pierre Dumoulin on the move. Oh, a miscommunication on the handoff as he bounces off the fullback. And that's going to be a huge sack for Jacob Tahoe Jr., who remains a linebacker in this new Janitors defense. The handoff going awry, a sack of 4 yards. Shitbirds push to their 28 now. Dingo and Steve Millenballer. Dingo right up the middle. He gets all those yards back and more, all the way to the 40. That's going to be a 3rd and short now. So many offensive tools on this Shitbirds offense. We keep talking about Andy Overnight, of course, the big play earlier in the first possession, but expect a lot of great things out of not only James Dingo, but Jason Wolf, who is running back number 2, who gets the handoff here into Janitors territory, and now will get a first down. But with James Dingo being one of the best running backs in the league, that really opens up the Shitbirds to basically do whatever they want depending on what's working and what's not. And that flexibility has just made them a huge danger here late in the season after the roster shakeup. It's another handoff to Wolf, and he gets 2 yards after trying to step over Steve Rail. But Rail making a good effort there, stops it for only a 2-yard gain. One yard away from midfield are the Shitbirds. They're at their own 49. Pope once again in the weak eye formation, 2nd and 8, as the Janitors shift the coverage as a handoff to Wolf, who fights for quite a large number of yards trying to shove the linebacker off of him. Now it's going to be another 3rd and short for the Shitbirds as this Wyoming crowd is on their feet cheering for the defense to make this critical stop before the Shitbirds get into field goal range and make this a multiple score game. Pope stepping back, no pressure, throws it. Oh, Millenballer didn't turn around in time. Maybe a bit miscommunication on the route running. It hit Steve Millenballer, directly in the back. And that'll bring up a 4th down, so troubles there on the second possession for the Shitbirds. Now it's going to be a punt from Ken Fudge. Bobby Williamson back to return. Fudge attempts to kick a coffin, but he's just a slightly bit to the left. We'll see where the referees spot this. It's going to be at the 25, so not the worst attempt in the world. So Craig Quaffett, once again, 4 points down. They were able to score a field goal after a lengthy drive. Let's see what they do. Quaffett rolling out of the pocket, attempts to get it to Alan Combo on a stick route. And the linebacker playing underneath of him, swatting the ball away. 2nd down. Janitors fans almost having PTSD flashbacks there to one of Bruce Bogdan's interceptions against the Rollers last week. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Van Panel in the backfield. Buffett throws it up for Rory Fisher. First down, Janitors. And this is the passing game plan that the Janitors drew up. Big, large wide receivers, not necessarily the fastest in the league, but making those jumping catches over top single and even double coverage. That's what Quaffit's going to be looking for all game long against the Shitbirds defense. Ready Funky Dope on the move. Pitch play. Lots of good blocks, but Van Panel can't quite make it to the 40. Some good yardage there on the first down toss play. That was some good blocks as well. We've seen so many toss plays in the TNFL go absolutely crazily bad due to bad blocking, but Harold Van Panel up the middle, finds a cutback lane. Good effort there to almost get to the 45. That's going to bring up a third and kind of short for the Janitors. Janitors sort of piece by piece, ripping apart yard by yard, really playing a grind and pound? Ground and pound. Grinding and pounding. Rundling and junioring. 3rd and 3 here, Van Panel. Pitch play to the outside. Van Panel cuts in, but he's stopped once again by Phil Stickler, who is currently the MVP on the Shitbirds, stopping these interior runs on the pitch. We saw Van Panel attempt to cut in. He might have seen a hole that was quickly closed by the rookie middle linebacker, and that's going to bring up 4th down Janitors as we hit the 2-minute warning. It's crazy. Do I have the wrong time settings or something? It feels like these games are going lightning fast. There's no way we're already at the 2-minute warning of the second half here as Vigo Bungerquist waves for the fair catch. If we are using the wrong time settings, we will have to restart. So I'll have to keep an eye on after the break if it's set correctly to 8 minutes. It'd be a shame because this game has been pretty good so far. Nathan Pope in the shotgun beside James Dingo here for this 2-minute offense play. Only one safety deep, throws it up big, and I think that was supposed to be a Pierre Dumoulin option route, but Pope sending it up really early, perhaps under pressure. Quite an odd throw there by the former Gator. Fun fact about Nathan Pope, he was actually the Kingston Gators quarterback in the preseason of Season 1 before he was moved to the Gators Center. Nathan Pope was traded to the Shitbirds from the Gators in the offseason. And a nice comeback route there from Pierre Dumoulin, who's going to be a yard short of a first down. Clock ticking, minute 30 and counting in this first half. The Shitbirds with only a 4-point lead. Nathan Pope, no tight end, James Dingo, so 4 wide receiver set, looking for a first down. Gets it over, gets it to Kelsey Maotto, makes a man miss, and he's tackled down by Oscar Dudeman. That'll be first down Shitbirds at around midfield. Nathan Pope, 50% on throws. He's almost thrown for a century so far in this first half. Dingo beside Pope in the shotgun. Pope, lots of time in the pocket. Not anymore. Throws out of the sack. It's collected by Kelsey Maotto. And we'll see what the video game does there. So the block was released. Maotto moved for about a singular frame before he was tackled again. So we'll see where they rule forward progress. If they're going to put it at 2nd and 5. What an amazing awareness there by veteran wide receiver Kelsey Maotto on the scramble drill, seeing Pope in trouble, coming back for that football, and gathering it in the middle of the field. 2nd and 5. Pope going to throw. Throws it over the field. A huge possession catch there for Andy Overnight. Wow! Sliding in front of free safety Len Players, former cleanup crew member. And it's first down Shitbirds as time is running out. They've used their 2nd of 3 timeouts as the world seems to be moving it fast forward for me. James Dingo on the pitch. Doldas, huge block to get Dudeman out of the way. Shitbirds, 50 seconds left. They only have 1 timeout. If the Janitors stop them, they are within DJ Wideboy field goal range. Although Wideboy has been missing recently, Dingo gets them for a first down, so this will keep going. So the Shitbirds opting for running plays here tells me they're playing for a field goal, which is a little odd. 30 seconds and counting. The Shitbirds at their opponent's 21-yard line. Both Steve Mellenballer and James Dingo behind. Dingo on the interior run gets absolutely squashed by Jacob Tahoe Jr. for almost no gain, if not for 1 yard. So you might see the Shitbirds call a timeout here. Perhaps they'll do one more play attempt for the end zone. No, there we go. So the timeout, so the Shitbirds reconsider, and they'll go for the field goal. This will be a 38-yarder for DJ Wideboy. DJ Wideboy has had a lot of trouble with field goals, but this one should be automatic for him. Picks it up. No, his troubles continue. He had a lot of troubles with field goals against the Gators last week. And I guess it's a bit windy here in this chilly Wyoming evening. That's going to be a turnover for the Janitors. They have 6 seconds to make something happen. What will Quaffit do? So he'll hand it off to Harold Van Panel, and they'll concede the half there. So the score is still 7-3 after the first half. And the Janitors will get the ball back, as they won the opening coin toss and deferred to the Shitbirds. So it is 8 minutes, so man, that was just a really, really quick first half. Crazy. So that first Janitors possession taking up pretty much the majority of the first quarter. Perhaps it may come down to the Janitors' ability to move the ball, get the lead, and eat up the possession clock. And regardless on whether or not overnight flights happen or Dumoulin dreams happen, as Bobby Williamson weaves his way through traffic to past the 30 on this return. Whether or not the Shitbirds score against them, as long as the Janitors can end these long drives with points and scores of their own, they may be in business here for a win and clinch up the over-their divisional championship. Craig Quaffit's more than capable of doing so. Bit of a weirdo setup here. There's two backs to hand off to Harold Van Panel. Cuts up, finds an amazing hole for about a 7-yard run. Really interesting formation used there. The fullback was where the running back usually was, and the running back was offset to his right on the strong side, and there was a handoff to the left. Harold Van Panel, play action pass, pump fake, throws it deep. Alan Combo has separation at the 20, at the 10, touchdown Janitors to begin the second half. And Alan Combo, wherever he is on this team, he has been a favorite of the Janitors. Whether it be back-to-back sacks against Graham Howard, or catching option plays here, as we see Alan Combo opt for the streak, absolutely blowing the safety coverage of the Shitbirds. And the go-ahead touchdown scored by Alan Combo, 63-yard touchdown pass. Joshua Hoser to kick the extra point. It's square in the middle, and the Janitors go up 3. They're leading 10-7. Again, not only do the Shitbirds need to win this game, they need to win by quite a bit. So they need to make whatever defensive adjustments possible to stop this passing and run game that the Janitors brought out today. And I think they need to start throwing bombs. They exploited the deep ball on the second play of the game. A big overnight flight beating the coverage of both Len Players and Bert Haybarn. So perhaps we'll see Nathan Pope go there again. Once again, Vico Bungerquist deep in the end zone. And he's going to opt for a touchback. And I brought this up, I believe, a couple streams, if not the last stream I did, in that these kickers with big kick accuracy, or kick power stats, I should say, have been such an asset being able, because I've seen if the AI is just too deep in their end zone, they will always opt for the touchback. And kick returns are generally really good in the TNFL. They usually get it past the 3 on this misdirection to Steve Mellenballer. Doesn't fool anybody, as Steve Rail gets a big tackle for loss. But yeah, we've seen Bobby Williamson get it to the 35 on one return. So if you're able to just kick a touchback, that guarantees that your opponent has 80 yards to go. James Dingo and Steve Mellenballer in the backfield. Nathan Pope directly under center. He hands it off to Jason Dingo. Excuse me, pardons his way forward. Falls down slowly, and that's going to be about 8-yard run on that. Dingo, quite a number of rushing yards, and he's going to be, like I said, a huge X factor here. Just one of the 4 devastating weapons that the Shitbirds have at their disposal here tonight to keep their postseason dreams alive. 3rd and short here for the Shitbirds. Dingo and number 34 behind. It's going to be a pitch play to Dingo, and it's going to be stopped by Bert Haybarn. And the running plays do not work for the Shitbirds. We were talking about momentum. The Shitbirds coming in with a win over the Kingston Gators, a 1-point win, but a win nonetheless. But the Janitors have been desperate here as Bobby Williamson waves for the fair catch, the punt bouncing out of bounds at around the 25. While the Janitors started out somewhat strong at the early goings of the season, they have been in a bad way the last couple of games. And this roster reshuffling and this new strategy that they brought on offense has been a real shot in the arm, and they lead here 3 points in the 3rd quarter. Pump fake over, tries to get it to Rory Fisher, but he can't quite get his hands on the ball. That would have been to the 45, but it's incomplete. 2nd down for the Janitors. The clock paused at 5 minutes 26 remaining. Van Panel and Milo Zapp in the backfield. Allen combo, tight ends. It's going to be a dive that can't find the hole. He bounces off. And Dante Rimsitter completes the tackle for no gain. 3rd down Janitors. And it's going to be a 3rd and 10 situation. So we'll see what Craig Quaffit and the Janitors have cooked up for a 3rd and long situation. It's listed as 3rd and 11. Van Panel, the lone back. He's stepping back, slightly rolling in the pocket, in trouble. What a catch by Bruce Bogdan, the former quarterback of the Janitors, not just 1 game ago. He is reprising his role as a wide receiver on the crossing route there. Gets underneath the coverage of Travarius Meatflank and gets his first reception for 14 yards. Bogdan started out his Janitors career all the way back in Season 1 as a wide receiver. And now, after the roster shakeup, what's old is new again. Quaffit, dual backs, and play action. They fall for it, throws it deep, and it's Rory Fisher on the slow-moving post route jumping up for it, and he gets it down into enemy territory for a Janitor's 1st down. And wow, the Shitbirds having trouble dealing with the giants that the Janitors have brought here today. The Janitors getting it to their opponent's 40-yard line. Van Panel in the middle, gets it to Bruce Bogdan on a quick drag, 5-yard completion. Quaffit was moved from quarterback to wide receiver in the preseason because the Janitors were not too happy with his quarterback play and figured they needed his 99 speed on wide receiver. But moving back to quarterback, he's doing a fantastic against the Shitbirds. An open pocket, in trouble, has to throw it away, but unfortunately, Fred Scooty, the rookie defensive lineman, appears to have injured his shoulder on that tackle. So we'll get an update soon. That's a key piece to this pivotal run-stopping and pass-rushing game the Shitbirds have. But yeah, the Milo Zapp on the wheel route. Nice check down pass, but slightly overthrown out of bounds. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 6. Van Panel and Zapp in the backfield. Play action pass. They throw it. Caught by Rory Fisher at the 25. 1st down, Janitors. And the Janitors are so elated to see this. Just in the 1st quarter alone against the Rollers, I believe Bruce Bogdan threw 2 interceptions, and there was even a forced fumble turnover. So far, 0 turnovers for the Janitors, but perhaps maybe I shouldn't bring that up. I don't want to jinx anything. Not Bogdan, out of the corner. Roy Fisher at the 5! He runs forward for a touchdown! And if you want to see why bully receivers are a thing in the TNFL, watch this nonsense. Craig Quaffit throws it up. Single coverage. Nick Pacer is just a tiny little baby man in the face of Rory Fisher, and he gets it into the end zone. Wow. Misses the tackle afterwards, too. And the Janitors are looking to go up 10 here in the third quarter. Joshua Hoser for the extra point. Kicks it good, and the Janitors go ahead 10 points as they lead 17-7 here in Wyoming. It's do or die. Big pass here from Craig Crawford. And man, it must be amazing for Janitors fans to see that they have an offense to pass to, and infuriating for Shitbirds fans to watch. They were ready for possibly a different offense. Last game, the Janitors were really trying to make the deep ball work with the twin-pronged offense of Craig Crawford and Milo Zapp. But basically going to the other end of the slider here. Vigo Bungerquist once again deep in his own end zone, kneeling for the touchback. So it'll be Shitbird's ball at the 20. Now, at this point, if you're a Shitbird, you are yelling at the screen, no more fooling around. Go deep with Pierre Dumoulin. Go deep with Andy Overnight. We saw it work earlier in the game. And now that we're down 10 points with the season on the line, no, they're going to continue running it with James Dingo. Gets a good run for 5 yards against Bobby Williamson's protection there, but still, you got to go deep. You got to go deep if you're the Shitbirds with, the game already wrapping up at a really quick rate. That run's going to be marked down as 4 yards. 2nd and 6 for the Shitbirds. 1:50 remaining in the third. Shitbirds taking their time on the snap. Lots of time. No pressure here for the Janitors. And that Pierre Dumoulin was triple covered. There was a linebacker, a safety, and a cornerback on that tight end. The Janitors did want nothing to do with a Dumoulin pass. 3rd and 6 now for the Shitbirds. Pope in trouble here. Pope throws it over, tries to get it to Andy Overnight, but unfortunately not being able to get his hands on it. He did a leaping jump for it and jumped a bit, I believe that was a bit late. And he was behind the ball. That's going to be a punt for the Shitbirds. A 1:40 on the clock. Williamson, deep to return. He receives it at the 40. He's just going to wait for the fair catch as he's face-to-face with 3 Shitbirds. That'll be Janitor's ball with a 60-yard field ahead of them. The Shitbirds need turnovers now. They need forced fumbles, and they need interceptions. But will Quaffit give them the opportunity to do so? We'll see. Harold Van Panel in the backfield. It's a play action, rolling out of the pocket. In trouble, though, a big sack for the Shitbirds. RJ Scamp Tapper gets his first sack of the game since being moved from cornerback to defensive end. And against the Gators, he was fantastic, sacking Graham Howard, I believe at least twice. I don't have the notes in front of me, but he's been absolutely impressing all Shitbirds on the defensive line. Quaffit rolling deep out of the pocket. He's got separation on Zach Racer at the 20. He's tackled down at the 15 as, man, Houston, Texas tries to wrap up the biggest man downfield. That was like watching a kid grip to their father. What the holy moly. The Janitors past the 15-yard line. They're at the 13 of the Shitbirds. Milo Zapp in the move. Van Panel behind him. It's a power toss, but great work there from Phil Stickler, tackling Harold Van Panel for a loss at the 15. Phil Stickler has been so good on these goal line and red zone defenses. The Janitors have been gone. Oh, Fred Scooty out for the game with a bruised shoulder. No, dude. So thankfully, it's a minor injury. He might not even miss a game. But the way things are going now, the Shitbirds might be done for the season. But I'll hold my tongue because anything can happen in this league. Van Panel and Zapp, once again, it's another power toss. Great blocking getting to the 10. But that'll bring up a 3rd down. The Shitbirds have to stop the bleeding here. The Janitors, 4 for 6 on 3rd down conversions. And it's Craig Quaffit in the shotgun. So determined to throw is Quaffit. And Quaffit does. Rolls out of the pocket. He's in trouble. Throws it forward. Interception at the 10. And that's Evan Sackland coming up with the ball. So Craig Quaffett rolled out of the pocket early. And he completely exposed himself to pressure. That was Clint McSpeedy, the former Trash Panda linesman, Normal Bowl winning defensive end. Putting pressure on Quaffett getting the throw early. Evan Sackland stepped up out of coverage, snagged the ball, and the Shitbirds get a much-needed turnover. James Dingle with the handoff falls over a downed Steve Rail. And again, if you're a Shitbirds fan, you are absolutely screaming at the TV right now. Why are they still running the damn ball? Sadly, I don't think the AI understands the urgency at which the Shitbirds need points. 6 minutes, 50 seconds left in the game. Pope stepping back, lots of time, and decides to get to the open Kelsey Ma'auto for a first down past the 20. First down Shitbirds as they start chipping away yardage. Now, the Shitbirds' offensive line has been statistically one of the best in the league. I think they lead the league in pancakes. And the amount of time they're just offering Nathan Pope has been astounding as James Dingo gets a great run to the 30. The Shitbirds down 2 scores. The Janitors leading by 10. But they sure are taking their time on this drive with passing plays. Stepping back over the middle on the corner route. Incomplete. Bert Haybarn breaking up the pass intended for Andy Overnight. And that was a good attempt there. Andy Overnight had a tiny bit of separation. But in looking back and seeing where the pass was thrown, that slowed him up just enough for Bert Haybarn to do the damage. Third down Shitbirds at the 31. Pope in the shotgun beside Jason Wolf. I feel like they're going to grip it and rip it here, even though it's short yardage. No, it's a nice short slant to Andy Overnight at the 45 for a first down. So playing the safe game there. I don't blame them here. Andy Overnight on the slant gets the first down. He's at 80 yards on 3 receptions so far today. Most of that coming from that second down overnight flight that has scored the Shitbirds their only points of the game. Or James Dingo, well, the draw play after did it, but now it's Jason Wolf picks up amazing blocks. First down past the 50. A huge run for running back number 2. Look at these blocks happen here. Watch this. Steve Mellenballer absolutely bulls over Oscar Dudeman. And Williamson has to tackle him from behind. Amazing blocking there by the Shitbirds as they continue to chip away yardage with the running play as they're into enemy territory at the 48. Steve Mellenballer and Jason Wolf behind. Jason Wolf on another counter run. Tries to get through the middle, but he's brought down for only a gain of 1. The Shitbirds almost at 100 yards rushing. Nathan Pope in the shotgun for the 2nd and 9 play. High snap! And Pope recovers it. That was a foot race between Nathan Pope and Pedro Silverstein for that loose ball. It was centered over Nathan Pope's head and he just wasn't tall enough to reach for it. And the wild snap is going to bring up a 3rd and super long. Pope stepping back. Good pocket, throws it deep to Pierre Dumoulin. He's covered by Len players. And it's overthrown, 4th down. Man, just watching Len players tower over the tiny Pierre Dumoulin. I don't know how Dumoulin would have come up with that catch with that size difference with Len players catching up with him there. And so Ken Fudge has to punt on this 4th and 23. 3 minutes and 24 seconds remaining. The Janitors, all they need to do is grind clock and the divisional championship is theirs. Ken Fudge slices it pretty badly. And the Janitors at the 35. So if you are the Janitors, you know that the Shitbirds are going to bring the house. They need that turnover. They need that forced fumble. in order to get this game back under control with such little time left. How are they going to play around it? It's a pitch to Harold Van Panel. Block after block after block. That's a 7-yard pitch. Holy moly, this offensive blocking from the Janitors is disgusting. Second and 3 now. The Janitors making it to their 42. Milo Zapp and Van Panel in the offset formation. The Janitors wasting as much time on the clock. It's a handoff off tackle, and Van Panel stopped for no gain. Good effort there by RJ Scamp Tapper on another run stop. The Janitors, 4 for 7 on third down. That might be a record for them at this point in the game, which is a little sad to bring up, but they're doing fantastic so far this game. Jim Ratt, the back. With Milo Zapp, it's a pitch play to Jim Ratt. He gets on the out. No! Stop for no gain. A great effort there by Chad Candy. Stops the run, and this Janitors crowd, this Wyoming crowd, I should say, begging for them to go for it on the short yardage, but we'll see if the Janitors decide to play it safe. They do have a 2-score lead. There's 2 minutes left in the game. And yeah, they will get Larry Baldwin, the new punter, out for his second punt of the day. The Janitors audibling. Getting some more protection on this punt just to make sure everything goes smoothly. And Balding punts it to the left side. Vigo Bunkerquist picks it up. He's at the 25 before he's shoved over. Do or die for the Shitbirds. Although, unfortunately, mathematically, their season almost over here. Even if they do win this game, they still need to beat the point differential of the Seattle Stoats if they want to make it to that number 2 spot. Should they even win this game. But we'll see what Nathan Pope does. Pump fake. Throws it up for Pierre Dumoulin. Intercepted by Oscar Dudeman at the 40. And what a punch to the gut for the Seattle Shitbirds, or the San Francisco Shitbirds fans watching at home. Because that could have been the turnover of the game there. Great work there by Oscar Dudeman. Harold Van Panel on the counter run. Excuse me, pardons his way through the middle for a 6-7 yard run. Shitbirds using their first timeout. Van Panel and Milo Zapp, the two backs, to waste as much time as possible with these running plays. Hoping to evaporate the timeouts of the Shitbirds. Van Panel on the counter run will get the first down thanks to a great block. You can thank Corey Chickenson for that one. Second timeout used by the Shitbirds. Shitbirds with only one singular timeout remaining, and with the Janitors picking up a first down, it seems nearly hopeless. Harold Van Panel slowly weaving his way through the middle there for about a 4-yard run. Second and 5 for the Janitors. Time is running out. Van Panel, the lone back, 2 tight ends in this formation. Van Panel on the counter run, but he's brought down. Dante Rimsitter tackling for loss, and the Shitbirds have no choice but to use their last timeout. If the Janitors convert for a first down here, they win the game, they win the championship, they win the number 1 seed going into the over there divisional playoff game. It's a play action. Rolling out of the pocket is Quaffit. He throws it to a comeback to Zach Reeser, who puts the dagger in the Shitbird season. A fantastic game played by the Janitors, completely upending their roster, completely developing a new game plan around their gigantic wide receiving core. And they were able to bully the defensive backs of the Shitbirds all game long. And Craig Quaffit back in the place he was drafted for at the beginning of the season, at the starting quarterback. And he'll take the kneel here. Quaffit taking the kneel, and this is such a disappointment for the San Francisco Shitbirds. On paper, they are one of the best offenses in the league. For a time before the Hamilton Rollers overtook them, they were the highest scoring offense in the league, but their downfall was they were also the team that had the most points scored against them. Their defense was an issue all season long, and it was too little too late to remedy that by the time they made the adjustments at the Gators. And honestly, looking at it now as the Wyoming Janitors take the 17-7 win, well, Janitors are divisional champions. And they once again beat the San Francisco Shitbirds. What a game. Individual stats here. Craig Quaffit throwing a 132.6 passer rating. Only 2 passing touchdowns with 1 interception thrown at the goal line. But man, a 77% completion rate. Holy schmoly. Nathan Pope having struggles all game long. He was overthrowing balls. That high snap that he wasn't able to grasp was also a game sealer. That was a huge, unfortunate moment for him. 46% completion rate, which is around the average of quarterbacks in this league, but no passing touchdowns and 1 interception will really hurt his record. Your rushing leader, no surprise here, is James Dingo, and that's a huge criticism I have against the Shitbirds this game. And while it's funny, it's just like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. The Shitbirds were basically being mocked all season long for having James Dingo and, in the earlier parts of the season, Phil Stickler, an amazing back, that they just never ran the ball. But to be fair, they were cooking with their passing offense in the first half of the season. But after their playbook adjustments for the Gators game and they started going for this running game, now the criticism I have is they ran the ball too much. So, man, sometimes life is cruel and you cry about it, I guess. Harold Van Panel, 39 yards for 20 attempts. He only gets about a 1.9 average. And Jason Wolf also doing fantastic as well, getting some key first downs. And if the Shitbirds were basically playing like they had the lead there in the second half. And again, I can only imagine just Shitbirds fans yelling at the screen, why are you not just throwing it? And to be fair, at the end of the game, they were trying to throw it deep to both Andy Overnight and Pierre Dumoulin, but they had 3 people on Dumoulin that one pass. I can't believe it. That is a team doing their homework. Oh my god. Receiving totals. Roy Fisher winning 6 for 85. Andy Overnight 3 for 80. And Zach Racer almost at 80 yards as well. Alan Combo, the single reception, but man, what a reception. And by the way, the offensive blocking for both teams was phenomenal. Only Oliver Holmes, Adam Banks, and Jay Mitchell each allowing a sack. But I'm rambling because I have 15 minutes to fill. This was an absolutely speedy game.